Namo Amitabha, everyone. So when we talk about death, a lot of people think that death is the end of everything. We only have one life, we live once, so YOLO, do whatever we want. But that is actually quite far away from the truth. Death is not the end of everything. Death is only the end of this physical body. So we have this physical body, and this physical body will have its time, but we still have our mind, our consciousness. Our consciousness is eternal, some call it soul. So this is eternal and it will not die. So what happens is that our consciousness will reincarnate again according to our karma in this life. So the karma is the law of cause and effect, which are caused by our thoughts, our actions. So our accumulated thoughts and actions made up our karma, and our karma determines where we will go in the next life. And Buddha tells us that there are 6 realms of reincarnation. The heaven realm, the asura realm. The asura realm is like the lower heavenly beings. The human realm, the animal realm, hungry ghost realm, and the hell realm. So generally, the asura, the human, the heavenly realms are called the 3 good realms, and the animal, hungry ghost, and hell realms are called the 3 bad realms. And what caused the cycle of reincarnation is our ignorance, our attachment, our greed and desire, which makes us stuck in the cycle of reincarnation for countless lifetimes. Buddha tells us that we have actually been trapped in the cycle of reincarnation for countless lifetimes, not just a few lifetimes or a few hundred lifetimes. Countless lifetimes. And it's likely that for most of us, all of us, maybe we have all been to all different 6 realms in the cycle of reincarnation. And you say, how do they know about reincarnation? It's true. So when someone who are in deep meditation, they could break dimensions. So in Hinduism, in ancient Chinese religions, we all believed in reincarnation because people in meditation could see that there are different realms, different dimensions of existence, not just one dimension. And also people who have near-death experience could also tell you that they have been in another dimension, while others think they have been dead in this life. So death is actually an illusion. What dies is only this physical body. Our consciousness will not die. But what happens is through the cycle of reincarnation, we don't remember a lot of things. We don't remember our past lives. But some people, they were able to remember some of their past lives. And sometimes we may experience deja vu in this life. We might go to a place that we've never been in this life, but we feel so familiar, or we meet someone we felt, wow, I've known this person for a long time, but in fact you have just met. So all this can prove that reincarnation is real. We have been stuck in the cycle of reincarnation for countless lifetimes. And some people may ask, what is the big deal of exiting the reincarnation? Why do we want to exit? It's fun here. So what happens is, if we don't exit the cycle of reincarnation, it's not guaranteed that we will be back as a human. We may be an animal and being killed for food by the humans, or we may fall into the ghost realm, be starving there, or we may fall into hell, and the sufferings in the 3 evil paths are undescribable. There is a lot of suffering in the cycle of reincarnation. And even for beings who ascend to the heaven realm, if you have very good karma, you could go to the heaven. But this is also not easy. Although in the heaven realm, one enjoys a lot of pleasures and it's all beautiful up there and one lives for much longer. But what happens is, there is still a time limit there. So Buddha does not deny God. There are a lot of godly beings who reside in the heaven realm. But what happens is that Buddha also tells us, don't aspire to go to the heaven, because even in the heaven realm, there is a time limit. After the time is up, you again fall back to the other 5 realms and then keep stuck in the cycle of reincarnation. Being stuck in the cycle of reincarnation, it's a bit like a rat in a rat race, or like a frog who is in a well, and then we look up at the sky and we think that it's it, unless you jump out of the well. So the cycle of reincarnation is like a well, and inside this well we've been every time just died and then reborn and then more suffering, and then again death, and then reborn, more suffering, death, reborn, more suffering, death, reborn, more suffering, and repeat this for countless lifetimes. Even the human realm is considered to be a relatively good realm in the cycle of reincarnation. We still see so much suffering here. There is a lot of suffering in the human realm. Death is suffering, separation with loved one is suffering. Especially at this time, we see so many deaths. The suffering in the cycle of reincarnation is never ending unless one becomes enlightened, which removes all ignorance, greed, and desire and attachment. So for enlightenment at the level of arahant, then you are completely exit the cycle of reincarnation. But in Mahayana Buddhism, this is just the base level of enlightenment. What happens if you exit the cycle of reincarnation? It means there is no death. You don't have to be like this again and again, unless you are so compassionate and you actually choose to come back and to help save others. Or you can travel to different worlds. So your travel range is not limited to just this earth. So here on earth, we can travel the world and we think it's so great. But when you exit the cycle of reincarnation, you transcend time and space. So the higher level of enlightenment you go, the more dimension and space will be available to you. So one can be anywhere in this universe at the level of the Buddha. But it's very difficult for us to trump this system of reincarnation. There is an easy way. If we practice Amitabha-recitation, Amitabha Buddha has opened this easy way for us to gain rebirth to his Pure Land. And if we can gain rebirth to his Pure Land, then we can obtain enlightenment there quickly. This is the only path in all different methods that allow us to exit the cycle of reincarnation without first obtaining enlightenment. And that's why Buddha recommends all to practice this, especially during Dharma Decline age, to seek rebirth to Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land by reciting his name repeatedly. And at the time of death, just even before we die, Amitabha Buddha will come to receive us and our consciousness will be in the Pure Land instantly. So I'll share more about how we can gain rebirth to the Pure Land in the near future. Namo Amitabha Buddha.